Mhm. All right, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Yakutis, and this is your review for Basketball Wives Season 9, Episode 2. So, we had some boring stuff, some eye stuff, some messy stuff, and some real stuff. So, yeah, and now when I get to talking about the real stuff, I'm still using my nickname. So, if you don't like it, I don't really give a fuck. Plus, it's 11:07 at night, and I'm getting this review done now. So, yeah, I really don't care. So, if I come off grumpy or agitated, it just is what it is, baby. But I want to start off by being my shady self. So we have officially done it, as you can see right here. So we see the season premiere views for all the previous seasons of Basketball Wives right here. Now, with a lot of shows, some shows may start off a little bit slow and then they gain. But as you can see, last week was the lowest, and it wasn't trending last week. It's not trending this week for obvious reasons. Since Master Splinter said we're too invested, well, hey, guess what? We're not invested anymore. So looky. Any fucking way. Get this off my screen. So yeah, I'm gonna save all that goodness for later. All right, so let's get into the bull Schwanky. So you have a lot of them showing different clips of the ladies in their places with their respective families and whatnot. We learned that Evelyn's stepfather had contracted the vid and also had pneumonia, which is a very serious and dangerous thing, especially having both at the same time, because a lot of the COVID symptoms mimic some of that of pneumonia, and having them both at the same time of both being in essence respiratory issues. Whoo, that's a bad cocktail right there. We also get the George Floyd protests and all that going on, and then now we're at 4 months later. So we got Jackie. She to move back to Sacramento. Jackie has been juicing, and one thing, because she's trying to cleanse herself and everything. But for those that have juicers, if you just get rid of the pulp, you're really denying your body a whole lot, because though yes, you're getting some, not all, but some of the nutrients from the actual juice, it is the pulp, which is the fiber and all that other stuff that really helps you out. And the pulp is fiber, so, and most of that is going to be, I forget if it's water soluble or not, but long story short, it's going to help you stay full and it's going to help clean you out. So, yeah, whatever. But she says the only person that she has heard from is OG, which makes sense because, I mean, if you really think about it, the only other person that she had a friendship with would is the Crimson Chin. But Tacky Jackie, yeah, obviously that, like, it makes sense. You two, you and OG built a legit sisterhood. And if you really think that the rest of them bros finna call you, I don't, okay, all right, Tacky Jackie, but it's okay. So Doug says that the league was able to finish with the champion, and they've used the stage for social justice. He believes that sports help a lot. Um, Helps because it's a melting pot of races who otherwise would not be around each other, and it gives you the opportunity to learn from each other, which is an actual factual. But at the same time, especially coming from somebody that's done military and with basic training, you get that. I actually had one person in my basic training group. He was European American, never seen a black person other than what he saw on television. So for him, it was a culture shock, and him trying to, differentiate the stereotypes he's seen on TV rather than what he's seeing in person. And it was like four of us there, each of us with different backgrounds and everything else. So it does sometimes help. But at the same time, even though you're in this melting pot, people will still have their biases, their preconceived notions, and all that other stuff. But I get what he's saying. Um, Jackie says watching thousands of people marching for social justice is one good thing that came with the pandemic, and the people coming together, but not her friends. Which, again, friends, we're gonna use that very, very loosely. So now we get Master Splinter. So now we get let me see. We get the Crimson Chin. If y'all didn't know who, oh, wrong person. That's the Crimson Chin. And we then get Code 45. Mahogany, Billy D. Williams, but she's Colt 45 on him. So she tells us that that her family moved to Atlanta a few months before the pandemic hit. Now, why did you move? Did you move because Byron and did not want to sit here and fund y'all anymore? That he didn't want to sit here and continue to give money to your husband who was a grown man? Is it because you couldn't borrow no more clothes from Cece? Is it because the cost of living was way more than what the both of you were bringing in together? Yet you want to sit here and bring another life into this world, but you can't hardly take care of the first one, and you need a nanny, though you ain't doing nothing. But okay, do you go ahead and move to Atlanta? Then she goes to visit the Crimson Chin, and we're now seeing the Crimson Chin in Atlanta with her children. So the Crimson Chin brings up Cece getting married, and we was gonna have to bring it. I even asked with the panel, do we think that it would get brought up? But it got brought up by the Crimson Chin, not by Code 45. And the Crimson Chin feels that, well, now that Cece's married to Byron, I mean, she really doesn't have a reason to be around this group of girls. But she hardly didn't want to be around y'all in the first place. And even though we said that OG would be a goddamn fool to come back, Cece would have really been a goddamn fool to come back. Even though she would have had OG in her corner, she should have been able to have her future daughter-in-law in her corner. But that wasn't the case. Now, was it? And it's convenient that Code 45 did not bring up the fact that she wasn't invited to the wedding, but they didn't have nothing mean to say about her. But again, well, guess what? Code 45, your storyline is gone. You ain't got one. And I'm gonna say right quick, if y'all see that this thing is kind of going in and out, look, my computer's acting stupid right now, but we just gonna have to make do what we got right now. Okay, praise God, hallelujah. So Code 45 says she was upset that the Crimson Chin did not come to a protest with her. Now, the Crimson Chin went down. Why she didn't go? We all know the trauma that she has suffered from her 17-year-old brother being gunned down by a police officer. We already know that. So this is one. So you're reaching to have a moment right now. Okay, get the fuck out of here. But Code 45 says that, she just wanted her to meet, like people. Okay. So now we get Evelyn. All I'm going to say is she said at this point that her father had passed away from COVID. I don't give a fuck about that other shit. So now we back with the Crimson Chin and Code 45. She introduces her to a woman named Monteria Robinson, who is a protester for police reform. Long story short, out of this conversation, the Crimson Chin says that she feels that now she needs to talk to her children about, these topics, which, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, because I'm not going to go back and refresh myself on the last two seasons, because I'm pretty sure she's at least had this conversation with one of her kids. I'm not going to go back, because to go back, that means I have to sit here and watch it on Hulu, meaning if I watch it on Hulu, that means they get a view. I ain't giving shitty old nostril not one red. No, I ain't. So y'all let me know if she has, but I feel that this conversation has already been had, more or less her brother being gunned down, but not all the other stuff that has come from the pandemic and the protests and everything else. So we get Evelyn yet again, and she pretty much brings up to the girls, hey, she wants to do this matching thing. And the Crimson Chin and Furby said they don't have a problem with, Jackie, if she's going to be there. Of course you don't have a problem. And even if you do have a problem, you're going anyway. Why? Because y'all need to check and your boss told you to be there. Don't play in my face. Let's not do that. So now we get Mr. Ed. Oh, I'm sorry. Her. So Mr. Ed then moved to Atlanta and bought a house. Everybody moving to Atlanta. Why you? And then she said she bought a house. Baby girl, so you done bought a house, but you... Okay, nope. So Code 45 visits her. She has no issue with Mr. Ed, which I don't understand how you don't have an issue with Mr. Ed when Mr. Ed helped to foster problem between you and Cece, where she set up with Evelyn, who you are cool with too. These two sitting here insinuating that your now mother-in-law was a prostitute and offering fellatio to her clients and all these other things. You were cool with that. You were cool with them sitting there clowning her. You even brought Mr. Ed to a sit down that you were supposed to have with both the Crimson Chin and Cece, but you end up bringing Mr. Ed, who has been causing ruckus amongst y'all family, but you still cool with her. You a better one than me. And then, okay, never mind, never mind. She don't know loyalty. She really don't. She want to sit here and talk about being loyal and be loyal to the Crimson Chin, but again, I'ma just stay focused. Anyway, I done lost my damn place fucking around with this heifer. So Mr. Ed tells us that she had COVID, and the way she called it is around about March, and somewhere in March, when we found out all this was going on, I guess before the lockdown had officially happened, she decided to take her little raggedy tail ass to Miami with some friends, and they stayed in a place. One of the girls there had COVID, but she didn't know. So instead of staying your little silly ass in the motherfucking house, you decided you want to live your best life. Ain't going back and forth. That's what you want to do. Okay, all right. So she contracted it, but the most that she had was I think she said she lost her sense of either smell or taste, but I believe it was her sense of smell. But she was able to get over it, but she had the antibodies and they let her know that is why she had it. Yet she continued to live her best life. Okay, all right. Now look, I'm going to keep it all the way a buck with you. People who put themselves in situations where things can be avoided, trust me when I say I can have some empathy, but I ain't got no sympathy. And most of the time I'm just laughing in your face because you were stupid for doing it. Anyway, Code 45 brings up the Range Rover that her ex-boyfriend took. Ain't going down that rabbit hole, but she said she gonna make a documentary about how she got played pretty much and make some coin off of it. Who the fuck finna watch that? I understand we in the pandemic right now. It ain't a whole lot to watch on television. Most of us done watched everything on Hulu, Disney Plus, on Netflix and everything, but we ain't watching that. I ain't at least. So Mr. Ed, I already talked about that. So Code 45 brings up the mansion. Mr. Ed says to her, okay, well, yeah, Jackie told me she ran on. She was like, no, and Mr. Ed was trying to make it seem like Jackie was lying, like, no, Evelyn is doing it. And she was like, no, she told me Evelyn's doing one too, but she's getting one. And then that house is going to be me, her, and OG. And Mr. Ed's like, oh my gosh, now I have to prepare for it. Okay, look, woman, you know you shooting the show. Y'all already know who, for the most part, is a part of the show. And the reason of Jackie getting a separate mansion or place for them to stay, unless there is a no contact order and a restraining order and all that stuff in place, which it's not because it was thrown out. There's no reason all the women couldn't sit here and film in the same damn house. Oh, never mind. They're doing it because they don't want anything to break out. But we had no issues with that last season. But okay, all right. Shit's exhausting, y'all. So let me see what else. I said that already. So Mr. Ed mentions, what. So when Code 45 was like, okay, well, I need to mentally prepare. So you have Mr. Ed saying, well, you got bitches throwing tables and shit. So Code 45 was like, pause, pause, pause. Leave the B word off the person that threw the table, because the person that threw the table was the Crimson Chin. Now here we go. Come on, follow me here, y'all. So she ain't go all hard as she could have, though she went hard as hell at the very end of last season. But she gonna sit here and tell her don't put the B word on her. But you ain't have no problem with this you ain't have no problem with this heifer sitting here insinuating that your now mother-in-law was a prostitute offering fellatio and doing very fucked up things. And one thing that I want people to understand, the reason that is such a big thing is there is such a thing as massage parlors and whatnot, even though Cece does not do massaging, but there are parlors like that where certain activities do go on in the back. So the whole insinuating of the fellatio was one that was very colorist, very much so, especially if you know about that. And then in addition to that, to link that to her, look, okay, but you couldn't tell them don't talk on Cece like that because you was trying to get in cool with them. But you gonna tell Mr. Ed not to sit and come for the Christmas chant. You know what? Fuck you. Mr. Ed says, no, we're not. This is my house. I can say whatever the hell I want to say about whoever the hell I want to say in my house, and I don't go off for Jennifer a lot. And I'm using her name because I don't go off for you a lot. But I look, this is my house. I'm gonna do what I want to do in my house. Okay. But then she also tells her like there's no code when it comes to these hoes, and you need to be ready for anything, which is another thing I have to agree with her on. Now, she said here that OG is her friend, so something obviously is gonna happen between them later on this season. So I'm gonna throw these up, and these are some receipts. I'm gonna throw them up quick, and then I'm gonna take them down because I don't want this. Well, fuck it. If the shit get flagged, because I'm not monetizing this video anyway. So this is what Mr. Ed says about people renting houses. Quiet as kept, loud as it is, a lot of them are currently renting houses and were previously renting houses when they were in Los Angeles, because meaning they were not staying there. They were just renting a place to film that show, i.e. the Crimson Chin. Then you have then she say that damn part. We don't rent, we buy, as Jay-Z said. We don't rent, we buy. Oh, okay. All right. Where's the other one? Then she says starts with an O and ends with a G. So she is saying that OG is round here written. That's what she said. Oh gosh, Zenju made it clear that they stay talking about me first. You better mind your mouth and sit this one out. That's it. That's all. But see, Jen been flip flopping since the inception of this show. And she ain't got no loyalty. But again, look, if she gonna sit here and keep the mess going, cool. I'm here for it. So what else we got? We got OG Kwame, her mom Patricia, and her brother. I guess it's Shedu. I'm just gonna say her brother. She says that she met with her attorney about the countersuit that she had to file because, you know, and this is very reminiscent of what we got on Potomac. You finna sue me, damn it, I'm a countersuit. I'm pretty sure her attorney is advising her correctly. She said everything that she worked so hard for, you know, could potentially go down the drain because of one person. Facts. Facts. And she said that COVID has pretty much put a pause on the legal proceedings or how they're going to move forward because, you know, all this other stuff that's going on, which is understandable. She brings up the getaway to her family and she says that she's open to it. But her mom was pretty much telling her, like, I don't know why the hell you going back around these heifers, but okay, do you, baby. So now we back to Eveline. So Colt 45 calls her. And she talks to her about her friend that she messed with, Mr. Ed and Al. Again, Code 45. I just want to say to you, I know OG is going to sit here and bring your ass to tears later on the season. I can't wait for it. But on God, on Bird, that's from Tony Baker. You know, that's on Bird. But on Bird, I hope and pray that both Eveline and Mr. Ed, Joffrey the Giraffe, I hope they get in your ass because of this. Because you are purposefully starting to, because again, what storyline do you have, ma'am? Not none. But that's okay. That's okay. I can't wait for it. So Eveline acts surprised to find out that OG will be going on this trip and that Jackie has gotten another hotel. Now, let's keep this thing all the way 100, okay? Master Splinter and Eveline are very close. And we even saw a scene of her pitching the idea to Shani O'Nostros, to Vassandria. You can't tell me they didn't have a conversation before that and then they just played that up for the cameras again. I'm too smart for this. But she's acting surprised like you didn't already know. We already know that shitty O'Nostros already told her ass like, oh, playing on my intelligence, I don't like it. So Code 45 says as a dark-skinned woman, she doesn't know what OG is talking about. You don't know? You don't know. You don't know what she's talking about. It was mapped out for you. You can go back and watch our reviews. We all of us mapped it out. perfectly for you. She says, nor has she witnessed these things. Again, everything got played back how you didn't witness it. Now, the thing is, of course, they're going to have her because she is a darker skinned woman, because they're not going to get Jen to do it, but they're going to get her to do it as a dark skinned woman. But here's the thing that's different about that. You're African American, ma'am, as am I. You're a dark skinned African American woman that has a mixture of European features that distinguish you from somebody that is African, and or in this case Nigerian American, where she fully has her Nigerian features, where it ain't like us that over generations and mating with people outside of our particular ethnicity, and then you get you. So yeah, you may be dark skinned, but you are a dark skinned African American woman. She's a dark skinned African woman, and we not gonna sit here and pretend like none of us African Americans have not once sat here and did the whole, stereotypical African joke mocking somebody. So what she is experiencing is completely different, and it's going to be completely different. And the only reason that you're not experiencing it is because you came and you was on your knees ready to sit here and take whatever these women was gonna throw at you. But OG came in just like, I ain't got like none of you hoes, to include you, and wasn't willing to do it. And when she wouldn't, then that's when they began to put labels on her, though she has been aggressive, but not to the extent that these other women have. Again, y'all finna stop playing in my motherfucking face. Shit. What else did she say? And she can't stand by someone to use something so important for her advantage. Really? Really? Because we can sit here and run down lists of all the women on the show that has used something that is very serious for their benefit and milked it. Every last one, because Jen has done it. You, in a sense, have done it, where an important issue is sitting here trying to make your father-in-law to be a deadbeat because he don't want to come see your kid. But the reality is you just an ain't shit parent, because it's too easy for you to bring your kid over to see him. He is in his golden years. His responsibility was to sit here and take care of his kids. His responsibility ain't for you to take care, for him to take care of your kids, because you want the baby off your hands. Again, stop fucking playing. But everybody has used something of importance. Like right now, are y'all not using the protest and Black Lives Matter for y'all benefit? And it's very hard for us to believe that this is genuine, given the bullshit y'all gave us the last 2 seasons. You sound stupid, Mahogany. So now we get back to the Crimson Chin. I'm really doing my best to stay calm, y'all, because I really could go the hell off. I can even start screaming because ain't nobody finna come knocking on my door. Ain't not even my landlord. It ain't finna happen. But anyway, so she has a conversation with her children about racism and police brutality, and how her brother, who was 17, that was still 18, how he was considered a threat as a 17-year-old. And she talks to them about how to react if the cops were to pull her over with them in the car, if they were to bust into her house. Now, her daughter said, "Oh, I'm gonna ask you if you got a warrant." I'm pretty sure she heard that from a rap song, but actual factual. But Malaysia told her right. I'm gonna be nice. Malaysia told her right. No. You that though you should. You don't do that. You let me handle it. What would you do if you see a police officer throw mommy on the ground and put a gun to my head? Don't do nothing. And though she feels that she shouldn't have to have this talk with her kids at this young of an age, unfortunately, as African Americans, we do. As African Americans, we do have to have these conversations with our children at a young age, because laws were put in place to get us where young African American and people of color, but primarily African Americans, since I'm African American, I'm talking about African Americans, laws have been in place where, yeah, you are charged as an adult. You are looked at as an adult. You can be seen as a threat. Yes, they weaponize our skin color. All of that's in media, amongst other things. And, institutional racism and racism being passed down, all that good jazz. She couldn't have these conversations with her children. I'm going to be nice to just say, because maybe she feels that they cannot handle all of that information. This is me being very, very nice right now, because I see what she's doing, despite the fact I know she's at least had one of these conversations with her children already. But long story short, she told them don't react. Now we get OG Kwame. OG doesn't want to have to jump out her body when she meets with these women. She wants to do a little bit of a fine tuning and just be able to sit down and just have the conversation and just let things go smoothly. But she's upset because these women deny the colorism that exists within that group, and it is blatant. But she hopes that with the current events and everything going on in the world, that they as black women have changed. We shall see. So the girls pack. That's it. That's the episode. I gave you what I can, what I could. I still owe y'all Bell Collector. It's taking me a while to get through because it ain't giving me enough. I'm having to watch pieces of it, and in installments. If it was on live like this was, well, this wasn't live, but I found it after the fact, and I plan on getting it out. But if that was live, it would have been easier for me to just sit there and just go through the notes. But you'll get it, even if you get it right before the next episode comes out. You will get that this week. So that is all that I have, you all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And really quickly, tomorrow I'm doing 2 reviews: Salt Lake City, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Reunion Part 2, and also Jersey, Real Housewives of New Jersey. I forget the season, but this will be the first episode. Also Thursday, it's either 4:30 Central, 5:30 Central. Really be myself, and I forget. I believe it's Lil Baby. I think it's gonna be us 3 and maybe one other person that will do a panel style type review, since she hasn't seen none of Housewives of New Jersey, and she refuses to watch the reunions like I told her to do and get caught up. We'll be there to fill in the gaps on everything. And I'm probably gonna cut the food. Well, I cut the food any damn way. But again, make sure you're over there to see me over there. So if you join me over here, I'll be over there making a guest appearance, and we'll do that until this season is over. So there's that. Thursday, Growing Up Hip Hop. Friday, Bell Collective and Little Women Atlanta. Hopefully, and I want to start watching Love and Marriage Huntsville after I get done watching Bell Collective. And hopefully you'll get a review Saturday, if not, whatever. And then, of course, Sunday, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, that's all I got. I'm about to go to bed. So, yeah. Love you guys. Peace out.